Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you my recipe for this beautiful summer dessert. It will be strawberry cake with a beautiful soft and fluffy Genoise sponge and yogurt cream. Stay tuned and see how you can make this cake for yourself at home. So first of all, we need to prepare our baking tin. I have 18 by 18 centimeters form. I grease the sides with some butter and then put a baking paper so the cake will not stick to it. Then we will prepare the sponge. I'm using Genoise sponge, which is a bit tricky, but it is worth all the effort because it's so beautiful, soft, fluffy and keeps moisture for a long time. So how to make it? We put all eggs in the bowl. We add the sugar and then we will also add a little bit of salt just so the cake is not too sweet. Then we also add the honey. If you're new to my channel, welcome guys, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. I post usually once a week. So when all the ingredients are inside the bowl, we just mix it and then we put the bowl on the steam or in the hot water, so only the bottom of the bowl touches the water. We keep mixing until the egg mixture reaches 40 to 42 degrees Celsius. Then we can start mixing it with hand mixer. After around 2 minutes, when it's a little bit frothy, we add the vanilla extract and we keep mixing for another more or less 5 minutes. How to check if the dough is ready? First of all, it will change the color, it will become much lighter and it will reach the consistency of a thick cream. As you can see, you can check also by drawing a little bit of a shape, like a letter or something like that on top, and if it doesn't collapse straight away, it means that the dough is ready. Then we can add milk. Milk needs to be between 40 and 45 degrees Celsius warm, and the best is to just add it by pouring in on the spatula because then it will not sink straight to the bottom. We mix it well, but just not too sharply. We don't want to deflate the eggs. Then we add flour. I add flour in 2 batches, always sieving it through the sieve, and then using a whisk, we just combine the flour well with the rest of the dough. Make sure there is no dry flour left afterwards, and be careful, don't do it too harshly as well because we don't want to deflate the eggs. So right now, time for our butter. Butter needs to be around 50 degrees Celsius warm. The best way to combine it is first to add a little bit of the foam into the melted butter bowl and then mix it well and add to the rest of the dough. We fold the butter mixture with a whisk or with a spatula, doesn't matter. Just make sure you combine it from the very bottom because it likes to sink. Then it's time to heat the oven. We heat the oven to 175 degrees Celsius with top and bottom heat. Then we pour our butter into the form. We can get rid of the air bubbles with a wooden stick, or we can just tap our form onto the worktop a couple of times to get rid of the bubbles. To bake the cake, we put it in the oven and we lower the temperature to 165 degrees Celsius and we bake it for 30 minutes. In the meantime, we can prepare the soaking liquid. I just add warm water, I add a little bit of sugar and a rum extract. You can use any extract you want. I just like the rum one. We just mix it and set it aside to cool down. That's how the cake looks like straight after taking it out of the oven. The most important thing about it, we need to heat it. As you can see, I just release it from small height to the worktop. It will prevent the cake to collapse. Then we take it out of the form and we put it on the cooling rack to cool down completely. In the meantime, we can prepare the yogurt cream. So first of all, we pour the cream, we add sugar, we add vanilla and yogurt, and we mix it with a hand mixer until it reaches nice creamy consistency. We don't want it too thick because it will be difficult to spread on our cake. As you can see, the sponge is very soft, and right now you can see how beautifully crumbly it is. It's very elastic, it's not dry at all, and it has beautiful color because of the amount of eggs used. And as you can see here, it springs back straight away when you touch it. It's really lovely and moist cake. And because it is a moist cake, you don't really need to use a lot of soaking syrup. I just spray the first layer with tiny mist of it, and that will be enough. Then I add a little bit of the cream. Firstly, it will be very thin layer. And then I put the strawberries. The first strawberry on the corner needs to be at an angle. I will show you why when I will be cutting the cake later. The rest of the strawberries you just put in a row around the edges of the cake, and then you just fill in the rest of the gaps inside of the cake. Then you add a thicker layer of cream. When you spread the cream, make sure you press the cream because you don't want the empty spaces between the strawberries. Make sure you use some kind of measuring tool in order to have more or less same thickness of the layers. I'm using the ice scooper to do this. We repeat the process with the second layer. A thin layer of cream first, strawberries, and then a thicker layer of cream on top, and then we end up with the third layer of sponge. This layer I soak a little bit more so it's much softer. It will prevent smashing of the strawberries when cutting the cake later. When the sponge is nicely soaked, we add a thin layer of cream just as a finishing touch. You don't have to be very precise, we just want it nice and flat on top. And that's how the cake looks like when it's almost ready. We just need to put it in the fridge for 4 to 5 hours or an overnight for all the layers to combine well. That's how the cake looks like after you take it out of the fridge. Make sure you use a sharp knife to cut it because you don't want to smash the strawberries. This is how it looks inside. Beautiful layers of strawberries and cake. It is really, really beautiful look, and it tastes deliciously. So make sure you use some kind of tool to measure the amount of cream you use for the layers so the layers are nice and even. When it comes to decoration, I'm using exactly the same kind of cream. I put the cream in the piping bag and I use a small star piping nozzle, and then I just fill in the top with some fruits. I'm using colorful fruits just because it looks nicer, and that's how the cake looks like when it's completely ready. It looks beautiful. It is so soft because of the Genoise sponge I use, and it tastes of strawberries and cream. What else can you expect from summer dessert? It is so nice, so tasty, and it disappears so quickly as well. You have to make another one very, very soon. So this is how soft it is. You could see when I was cutting it. Very, very nice cake. Delicious strawberries, yogurt cream. Absolutely amazing. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you will make the cake at least once for yourself. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and push the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future recipes. Thank you and see you next time.